What's going on, everybody? It is Brendan. Welcome back to the channel, and I hope you're having a better morning than I did. See this right here? See that on my elbow? I got another mark on my other elbow. I got into a fight this morning. So at around 3 in the morning, it was me versus two raccoons on my back porch. They were trying to get at the leftover candy that I didn't bring in for my daughter's birthday party from the previous weekend. We got into a major scuffle. All I had was a broom, and there were two of them. So it was really one-sided, but I did end up winning that battle. And I'm gonna tell you something, little SOBs come back. Next time it's gonna be a BB gun. So I took it easy on them. So hopefully you're doing better than I am this morning. We're going to the thrift stores. We're gonna shop and do what we do. I'm taking you along for the ride like I always do. I can't find anything in my area to save my life, but that is not stopping us from thrifting another day. Let's get moving.
All right, what are we starting off with? Optimus. This is an old school stereo receiver. Listen, I can't tell you what these are perfect for. What was the price on that? I can't really read it. Oh, $5.99. $6 is not a bad price for it. But it looks like they are still in decent demand on eBay. So I have mine already photographed and tested. And when I test it, power it up, hit some of the functions. I mean, I think it's, I guess, unrealistic to test every single function, although some people would argue with me that you should be doing that even in the most complex of receivers that you get. And I don't necessarily disagree with you. I just happen to believe that the thing works. And all of the functions work like they should. So I have that listed for $45. I can't really, I'm done guessing when things are going to sell, because things that I think should be flying off the shelves this year are taking forever to sell, and vice versa. So it's been more confusing this year for me than ever. So I don't know when the thing's going to sell, but it looks like it's in demand. So it's just a matter of time for most of this stuff. So that was a good pickup. That was a good first find of the day. Not something that I'm totally familiar with. I sort of strayed away from electronics, and I think that was maybe more so because I was trying to learn other categories, and I'm not a just buy everything at all costs type of reseller. So I'm very careful with the things that I buy. And getting back into electronics now, I have sold 2 VCRs recently. It had been a long time since I'd sold them. I have another one that I have to list. So it's just a matter of what I'm finding. And, it's been a recurring theme in 2025. There just isn't as much to find in my area from the stores that I source at and the areas that I'm sourcing in. So I left this Kenwood. Should I not have DP? It was DP dash something or other. I don't know. I should have looked at it. But I feel like that thing was marked up when I saw the sticker, so that prevented me from going further on that. But the Optimus STA-300 is a good one to start off with. What is this? Is this like a cooling pad? I couldn't really I can't read the brand now. I didn't know what that was. It was like a docking station of some sort, but nothing else here it really strikes my fancy. So let's take a look at some shoes. Vivaya, I've showed you this brand before. Listen, they continue to sell really well. There's only, I think, in this style, maybe 400 or 500 listed, and it's going to be around that in the solds as well. The style on this is Margot. You can see it's a square toe. So the current listings to solds for that brand is really good. I have those ones listed in like new condition for $30. And then these are Crocs hiker platform type shoes. I may have gone a little bit too fast on these because my Crocs inventory is so low. And so I'm trying to replenish them, even though I feel like this would be, you're not going to be wearing, it's not that you're not going to be wearing Crocs. Crocs you can wear around the house year round. But I think the volume, at least in my experience in the 2 or 3 years that I've been sourcing them consistently, they sell a little bit slower in the winter months. And that one isn't a huge seller. So let's take Vivaya and put those up for 30. We'll put the Crocs up for 25. We'll see what happens. I think I can ship both for under 12 ounces, although the Crocs might have been on the heavier side. So those might be approaching a pound. I'm not really sure. But my shoe inventory, really low. And it is, I'm feeling that. So those are a couple of good ones. What was that? Message in time clock? I don't know. That was kind of interesting. But I don't see anything else on this cart. And I think this cart is kind of stale now. There's just, it's either picked over or there's nothing else really good to look at. Let's move over into one of the home goods sections here. Was hoping maybe this was some type of lucite. It definitely is not. It's just plain old plastic. I don't see any tumblers here that I've picked up. I feel like the Starbucks tumbler thing Got a lot of those listed. I see people selling them in bulk and mass on Facebook Marketplace, and they're not moving. So unless you find a really rare Starbucks one these days, or something that was super limited edition and it's a recent release, you got to pump the brakes on this. What is this? Thickers. Oh yeah, that's like when Mike Tyson tries to pronounce stickers. That's fun. $2.99 on the umbrella accents. Probably going to pass those up. Let's grab my shoes and be on our way. What do you say? Okay, next thing here. I loved this when I found it, but this is not a bolo. Do not buy this. $7 Marquis Waterford stainless steel ice bucket, wine bucket, champagne bucket. It has a really nice two nice leather handles. It's in great shape. So I was like, all right, maybe this will be worth something. No. Now, if you find the Waterford crystal, even if it's Marquis glass ice buckets, those are definitely a bolo. Check those if you happen to come across one in the stores, because those definitely sell. But the stainless steel ones, yeah, I'm not loving it. So I'm going to leave that behind, and we're going to look to see if there is something that is hidden on this, because I think this is like day 3 or 4 that I've gone into this store in a row, and they are just not putting anything out anywhere near the speed they used to. And that is, again, part of my problem, where the stores that I'm frequenting in my area have now implemented a policy where they only want a certain amount of carts and a certain amount of new racks on the floor at the same time. They're saying, at least some of them are saying, that it's sort of a clutter and safety issue. I mean, I don't know what to believe, because it seems like the store's sales are down in my area, but this is all hearsay. I don't really know what I'm talking about, so you can't really rely on what I'm saying as scripture, but I can definitely feel these stores being slower. So it's like, if you want your sales to increase, you probably have to change the fact that you can only have a couple carts out on the floor at the same time. There's lots of repeat customers that come in for new fresh inventory daily, and you're not replenishing fast enough for any of us. So yeah, that's part of the problem. Anyway, I'm here with my wallet open, y'all. We got any frames that would work? Got any arts on the bottom? This was kind of a nice piece. I'm really more looking at this for my living room, because it's the color aesthetic more than anything. It's kind of a cool picture. I can't, on those red tags, it is so hard to see what the price is when I'm filming on my phone for y'all, but I left it behind. We're just going to have to wait for the next one. Okay, yeah, there is nothing that I see that's going to work. So we did get to a rack, and Lululemon pants, you're gonna have to tell me how you're doing with them. I feel like, as with anything, when the supply catches up, the price has to come down a little bit. I did find 2 pairs. I think these are like ABC commission pants. This I can't use because it looks like there's a little bit of a hole in them. I do like the color a little bit better, that olive green. But that first pair, let's say $30, $35, that's great, because I think the pants price and the jeans price are different. Jeans are around $9.99. I almost never look at jeans anymore. If you are a jeans seller, I want to know how your business has been this year. Let me know in the comments. Or even if you're like, where are you at with jeans, regardless if it's your primary your category or not. I just almost avoid all of them at $10. There's not a whole lot I can work with. And I've said this before, like, even if you came down in the stores to like $8, maybe I would buy a few more pairs, but I am just not buying them at 10. This Chaps Ralph Lauren like cardigan thing, I probably should have looked at a little bit closer. I'm just making the assumption that they don't move quick. And I'm looking for something that I can sell quicker. The Lululemon pants, those men's pants, they always sell for me, and it's seemingly they always sell in a reasonable amount of time. But how are your jean sales this year in 2025? I want to know how that's going. So please let me know, because I don't sell. I like I said, I almost never look at them. So unless we're doing like $1 at a garage sale or $2 at a garage sale, I almost avoid them completely. That includes the things that I see at the outlet. So I know there's people that load up on jeans at the outlet, so maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe I have to expand my horizons. And believe me, in certain categories, I am trying to do that. Jeans is just not one of them. Let's talk about Patagonia right now. Patagonia is a hard sell for a lot of these. This is a retool. If you're talking better sweater, they're hard to sell. You have to price them low. Supply has long caught up. So 2, 4, 5, 5, 5, 6, I think is what that said. I'm $25 maybe. So this is a fleece, so I think it's going to cost me either $5.99 or $6.99 in my area, and I'm gonna pick it up because it's a size small, women's. I think I can move it for 25. I don't think I'm gonna have to go any lower than that, but they're a hard sell. So if you are struggling to find Patagonia, or you're in one of those areas where it's hard to find, you're not really missing anything. If you're asking me, there was certainly a time where Patagonia had its run, but I think the inventory is caught up, at least on the retools. Most of the better sweaters, within reason, there's always outliers, like I try to say as much as I can, but Patagonia is just a hard sell right now in those categories, so be aware of that. $25 max on that. At $7, I think, again, I'll take it because we're moving into that season. I think it does move. Patagonia does sell for me. It is just selling so much slower, like everything else in my life right now. All right, we'll go to the bags and the hats. I feel like I've looked up these Apparel bags before, and they're kind of hit or miss. You saw the handle on those. I can't use that. I can't sell that. But this was Coldwater Creek, I think, on this bag right here. I did see a Cole Haan one that I didn't catch on camera, and that one still had a little bit too much damage. But when I say the stores are thin, they are thin. Look for yourself. These shelves are empty. Dolce & Gabbana bag. This is something that would turn up for me at the bins. There's no need for me to pay $3.50 the accessory price or even the bag price, because rumor has it in some of these locations they are excited to start raising all of the prices. Again, just stuff I've heard from staff that I can't verify to be the truth or not, but I know there's a lot of you in Columbus that listen and watch me, so I don't know what to tell you. Okay, Easter was at Easter Unlimited. This is a pretty cool skull mask. It's vintage. The prices were all over the place, and I feel like this was the kids version. This is it's really small. Maybe an adult could use it. So it's only going to cost me $3. I'm going to leave it behind. For Easter Unlimited and Fun World, the ghost face masks clearly are the winners in that category, especially the vintage ones. Everybody should know that by now. This is another good example of an Easter Unlimited item. It's a foam skull. There's too many of them listed and just not enough sold for me to pull the trigger on that one. I don't remember what the price was on that one. Was it $3? So $3 for the mask, $3 or $4 for the other skull. This one was cool, but it clearly has damage. But with Fun World and Easter Unlimited, the ghost face masks from the movie Scream and their variants are still excellent sellers. In fact, I did just sell one about a month ago, and I have one that's glow in the dark that I think is still in my inventory, or maybe I did sell it and I'm not remembering. But those masks always sell well for me. There was a year where I found like 6 or 7 of them during the season and sold all of them, some of them for well over $100, and yes, they can sell for even more than that. So if you weren't aware that the Scream franchise and the Easter Unlimited ghost face masks are a bolo, you know now. Put it on your list. And they will sell year round, so you don't have to think about it twice. If you find something off season like that, grab it because it will absolutely sell. Winding down Halloween, Batman. This fellow looked like he was broken. Yeah, nothing doing here. Pretty cool skull camo bags. Got no values, no brand. And this little fella, Frankenstein, is that what this is? I don't know who that is, but can't use him either. All right, let's move over to a couple of clothing items. This Killers Joshua Tree t-shirt is a good seller. I see around 20 of them listed, 10 of them is sold. I have a 2XL. The last 2XL sold for $26. Boy, do I wish I found this at the bins and not having to pay $5.99 at a store. There was a time maybe just 2 or 3 years ago where t-shirts were $1.99 in these stores. They are now $5.99. So I'll still pick it up because it looks like there's enough volume and interest still right now to be able to sell this for around $26. And I think that sold. They shipped it for $8. I can ship it for less. So we're going to sell those, sell the one I've got between $25 and $30. And then if you weren't aware that Howler Brothers is a bolo item to keep your eye out, or a bolo brand to keep your eye out for, definitely check this out. This is a Terry hoodie. I forget what size it was. It was an XL or 2XL, really long, almost like a dress. See how long that thing is? Last one that I saw was a medium, I think, that sold for $38. I'll probably list mine for $35. But yeah, those two are some pretty good pickups right there. But we're going to meander over into the toy section before we head home so that I can show you a few more things. I like this Ohio State lunch container. Might have been vintage. Can't use that. Can't use the Five Nights at Freddy's. Looks like there's some type of a Dino Tracks car on the bottom shelf there that I think I have that exact thing in stock. Or maybe I've sold that in the past, but I think they had that marked $10. I can't use that. And you see like a little Live Pets hamster toy with a little hamster on the inside there next to the basketballs and the footballs. That's maybe a $20 item. Can't really work with that either. Metal tapping is nothing. And then this megaphone could have been a hidden gem. I couldn't see a brand on it, moved on pretty quickly, and then forgot it was in the basket. But I've been through those toys a couple of times, so outside of that, don't see much. And my youngest daughter just had a little Mario birthday party, so that was a fun reminder. And I think that's going to be it. All right, let's head home, show you a couple more.
Here is the crown jewel from today. Carhartt. Now, Carhartt jackets are still flying off the shelves. It's amazing. For whatever reason, this J22, and it's in nice shape. J22, when you look at the bottom of these tags, you see how it says J22 right there and then MOS, which I'm assuming stands for moss green. So style and color. And it is a 2XL, but I think it's regular. Yeah, 2XL regular. Not a single one of these has sold in 90 days in that exact style and size. So, what am I going to list it at? I think the lowest priced one listed would be around $175, so I might match that. We paid $10 for it. Look at those sleeves. Excellent condition. I'm extremely fortunate because this area right now has nothing to offer. And if it does, I'm in the wrong place at the wrong time. So I'm really going to have to get creative if I'm going to survive October in terms of sales. This should help, but again, I need these sales to kick in. So let's say 175 is what I end up listing it at. I would be totally happy with that. And yeah, if you're sourcing and selling Carhartts, you know it still sells well. Just not a lot of movement on these 2XLs. I want to show you these. These are Nike React Prestos. Look at the soles. I'll probably throw these in a wash a little bit. They obviously have a tiger print to them. Let me show you both of them. They're in pretty good shape. Relatively clean. They got to be cleaned up in the back a little bit. You can see right there. That's not a problem, but the soles, plenty of tread left. They are tiger prints, and I think there's around, if you're using the style and the colorway code, 20 of them listed, and about 10 of them have sold in the last 90 days. So I think once they're in the wash, and I've just wiped down the midsoles, $40 will be fair. I paid $5.99 for them. Nike's just selling slow for me. Everything is selling slow. My overall volume is down, but these are sweet. So, and I don't pick up Prestos that much. I just don't love selling them. They don't customarily or historically sell fast for me, but these are cool. I liked the numbers that I saw, and I think $40 is fair, so we'll put them up and we'll see what happens. They're size 10.5 as well. All right, crew, that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for listening to me babble about reselling things on the internet. I appreciate each and every one of you, and if you're not subscribed, what in the hell are you waiting for? Hit that button. Free for you, and it helps me tremendously. But that's all I have for you. Thanks again. We'll see you in the next one.